Helen, I think we're going to turn now that we've identified what the will is or who the intestate heirs are, how do we get a grant to start dealing with the estate?
All right. Well, WESA does deal with estate administration. Part 6 of WESA and Supreme Court Rule 25, which is the new rule that will replace the current 21-5, will house the whole procedure and all of the rules. Going into Part 6, I think I'll highlight 2 provisions. Perhaps backing up, I should say that generally the process to obtain a grant is not significantly changed under WESA. So that is good news. But there are some changes that affect the type of forms that you need to use, the type of notice you need to give, the delivery of that notice, etc. So there are a lot of technical rules to be familiar with. Under Part 6, there are 2 main rules that I think existed under common law, which now have been codified in WESA. The first is that there is an express provision with respect to priority of administrators. So on an intestacy or in a case where you don't have a executor under a will any longer, then the priority of appointment of an administrator is now expressly set out in the legislation. And generally, it falls something similar to the intestate succession scheme in some ways, because if there is a surviving spouse, the surviving spouse has the first priority. If there is no spouse, then the priority goes to the children. And if there is more than one child who is competing for that, it goes to the person who has the support of the majority of the beneficiaries of that particular estate. And so that provision should allow for some elimination of contests that would otherwise exist. The second provision that I'd like to talk about is the passing over of the personal representative, be it either the named executor or the person with priority to be appointed as administrator. And this is a useful provision because it allows a person who's interested in an estate, be it a beneficiary, a co-executor, a creditor, and possibly even a wills variation claimant, to be able to go and seek to have the personal representative passed over for a number of reasons, including lack of capacity, failure of that person to move ahead with the administration, refusal to act, or just unresponsiveness. And so these rules in WESA appear to promote the moving forward and the expeditious resolution of an estate.